Welcome back to another episode of my F125 Driver Career Mode. This is episode number 3, and we're here in Maranello for the 2025 Imola Grand Prix today. And right off the bat here, we're in a bit of a pinch as we've had some trouble at the start of the session with changing some parts due to excessive wear, and as a result, we only have time for one flying lap here. This might be tough, given for us at our stage of the career here. Making it out of Q1 is not a given. We almost made Q3 last time out in Japan, so I think we'll just have to give it everything we've got here, and hopefully we don't make any mistakes and can get through on one lap here. Through Sector 1, we're up 6/10 on Lawson there in 16th, which should be enough to put us through to the next round, assuming we can keep this pace for the entire lap as we're coming toward the end of Sector 2 here. We're up a whole second on Lawson now, 1.1 seconds there in the top left. So we should be through pretty easily at this point, as long as we don't have a colossal mistake here down into the double left-hander. Going over our goals for today's race, I think we're looking for a similar result to last time out. Fight for those points-paying positions, stay out of trouble early on, and just kind of let the race come to us. Ollie has been a bit on and off competitively lately. He's got some juice in some races, and then in others, he's nowhere to be seen here, as we do make it through to Q2 with Ollie in 10th place right behind us there. And as always, our goal is going to be to beat him in this race and establish ourselves as that main driver here, as we have a moment here that's not going to be conducive to that. We take a bit of the gravel there and end up spinning, have to abort our first lap here of qualifying 2 here before we even get started. And I think I was on the out lap there, and I had to go in and change my tires. And as you'll see here, again, we're up on a time crunch, only 2 minutes left, and it's actually started raining here. And that's why I was so worried about getting out early at the start of Q2 here. Is, as you can see a little bit here, the rain started, and it's just slightly too wet for slicks here at this point, as we get knocked out of Q2, unable to really even set a lap.
This place has gone by many titles: the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now it's the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Welcome to Grand Prix Sunday. A lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Piastri, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Russell, Tsunoda, Antonelli, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Bortoleto, Behrman, Lance Stroll and Albon, Haas, Hulkenberg, Liam Lawson and Carlos Sainz, Hadjar and Jack Doohan. And now it's time to head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. It feels like an obvious question, but I think everyone wants to know, at this stage, are you nervous or excited?
Probably at the start of a race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right and which teams have got it horribly wrong?
After a tumultuous qualifying, here we are in Imola at the 5 red lights. And we're underway. Minimizing the wheel spin here on the launch here. We're gonna go pull away from Albon, and we're gonna go cut across our teammate Behrman here, go up the outside of Alonso, and just barely get it stopped behind his teammate Stroll here. That's a great start for us. So we're gonna follow Alonso and Stroll here around the outside of turn 3. We're actually going to go up the inside of Alonso here and just hang with him here as we creep through the corner, and we end up making the overtake stick here. Take a look on the inside just for a second here. So we're going to follow Stroll here, try to beat him on the exit. And it looks like we do here. Deploying all the battery we have. Not quite. And we're going to tuck in behind for turn 9 here, as we are looking for any way through here at this point. Like I said earlier, a great start for us. So we're going to just follow everyone through here and try to make as many places up as we can before this DRS train starts to form here at the start of the next lap. Through the chicane here towards the start of Sector 3. No one's dropped away yet, but I would look for that to change here and have sort of a top running pack of those top cars, and then the battle for the rest of the points positions here, probably about 7, 8, 9, and 10, as we are starting the second lap here. And it looks like we are kind of already seeing that gap form. I'm kind of equidistant between P11 and P13 here, as Stroll and Antonelli go side by side through turn 3, and that's gonna we actually bumped the back of Stroll here. That's gonna slow them down and allow me to enter into the party here. And unfortunately, the dirty air is gonna wash me out wide here, but dip a tire into the gravel and keep me from making a move on Stroll at this point here. I also have to be mindful of Albon behind us. He gave us a lot of trouble last race, and that Williams has the pace to keep up with us. I think it's a great match for us. As I dip another tire into the gravel, thanks to the dirty air of Stroll again, I'm going to have to be careful about that this race, as the expanded gravel traps have really made those minor mistakes a lot more costly. That's something you might not really think about much when you're watching on TV, as those drivers don't really make those big mistakes in real life, but in the game, obviously, those happen a lot more. So it can almost be more punishing in the game if you're going to be interacting with them a lot more due to running wider, both because I'm just not as good of a driver as those real life drivers, and also because I'm willing to push the limits more. There's no risk of injury to me, as Albon is going to use the DRS and overtake us here going into turn 2 here. We'll cut on board here as I look for some revenge. I'm going to learn from my mistakes last lap and get myself some margin to the outside of the track and stay off that gravel. Just a bit too far back to think about a move here, and the rear end is going to step out of me just a little bit on the exit here. I'm going to burn the battery, make sure I don't lose Albon, and maybe even more importantly, that I don't invite Behrman to start sticking his nose anywhere I don't want it. And it looks like up at the front here, Max Verstappen is running away with it, as we're only 3 laps in, almost 4 now, and he is already 1.9 seconds ahead of second place with Lando Norris. And it looks like I said earlier, that gap is starting to form between the front 2 packs, as Bortoletto is 2 seconds off the back of Sonoda, and we are going to be fighting for 2 points paying positions, looks like here. So we're heading on to lap 4, open the DRS behind Albon here in this bit of a train. Looks like Ollie has been catching up a little bit. I'm going to try to do whatever I can to keep him behind. We'll skip ahead a bit to the end of that lap. Ollie's actually stayed behind us here, so we'll jump on board with him. Look at me making a little bit of a mistake there. He's going to try to line up a pass using the DRS into the heavy braking zone of turn 2 at the end of this straight, and he is gaining rapidly on us. We'll jump to the broadcast camera. He's going to look to hang around the outside, but I'm going to keep my foot in here, outbrake him, and keep my P13 here. I'm sure the pit wall is just loving watching us battle out and lose a bunch of time here. I don't actually know if you saw that, but I am shredding my tires here. We're on lap 5 of 32, and I already have 27% on my right rear, and you can see it. You can see it. I'm losing traction. The rear is stepping out of me on a lot of these heavy traction zones here. I am cooking my tires, and that's really bad around this track specifically, as I have a giant lockup there in Aqua Minerale. You really want to avoid a two-stop here if at all possible, because the pit lane is one of the longest on the calendar here. You lose so much time in the pits on this track, and you need to do whatever you can to stretch your stints and have as few stops as possible. So I'm really going to be needing to figure out how to get a one stop here, and I really don't even know if that's going to be possible given how much we've kind of cooked our tires at the start here. You can't take tire wear off. You can only, reduce it actively, trying to take care of them as much as you can. Ollie's going to look for another move up the inside here. I'm not having any of it. I'm trying to make my own moves here on this pack here, as Mark is going to say to keep Ollie behind, and I have to agree, Mark. I will be doing as much of that as I possibly can. Looking for a move up the inside here. I thought about it for a second, but ultimately decided to try to keep my tires in as good a possible condition as I can here. 34% on not even 6 full laps. It's definitely looking like a two-stop for me, unfortunately. I'm going to be praying for a safety car here to give me some extra life, let me get a free pit stop if possible, and just take my tires as long as I can until then. It's not looking good for us at the moment, but I think we're going to try to use the DRS to help keep us in this train, so to speak, and just kind of let them do a lot of the hard work for us. It's only one DRS zone around this track, but lucky for us, it's extremely long, so I'm going to be using that to carry us throughout this entire lap and let them fight and slow each other down here. As we can see, they're jockeying for position here, slowing each other down. All three of them right on each other's gearboxes here as we go through turn 3 and 4, and we're just going to try to hold on for dear life as we cut to the front of the pack here. Max Verstappen is running away with it. 3.2 seconds, and the gap is growing. Lando is gapping Hamilton here, but it's not enough. Max is going to run away with this before he even really gets started, I think. I didn't see his Q3 time. I don't know if he severely outqualified everyone the whole weekend or whatever, but I mean, look, he is almost through turn 1 before Lando even comes around to be visible at the end of the straight here. Cutting back to us, we are 9/10 away from Bortoletto here. It is looking dire. I thought about going into the pits, as you can see there, for a second, but I decided just one more lap, give me that. We got on board to the visor cam of Ollie Behrman. He said, yeah, I've had enough. I'm making the pass. I got so much more overspeed, you can't do anything about it. And Liam Lawson wants to see if he can get a 2-for-1 here. Unfortunately for him, I'm going to keep my foot in, lose the car for a second, and I tell Mark, yeah, we need to go in now. Going to the end of the lap here, I'm just praying to get me to the pits, get me new tires. I need anything I can to get off these. And Ollie is going to go in front of us. I'm going to slam on the brakes, just barely get it stopped by the line here. But Ollie going in is going to screw us here. We're not going to have a big enough gap for a double stack. You want about a 6-second gap, and oh my god. Yeah, this race is over. And great. Just great. Looks like it was a slow stop for him. And we're going to get in. We're going to bolt on a set of mediums. Like I said, there's really no way we're getting a two-stop here, so I figured I would take the mediums now and hope for a safety car here at some point and take the hards and go all the way to the end as we come out 2 seconds, just kidding, 5 seconds behind 19th place, running in last here. and we have our work cut out for us. Jumping ahead now after 7 laps of trundling at the back, only making overtakes due to other people pitting. We're going to take a look at Nico Hulkenberg here, who's going to be our savior here, as he's going to lose the back end, try to recover, can't get the car under control, and go flying off into the gravel trap. We're going to go by him here, and that's going to bring out the safety car that we need to save our race. Thank you, Nico Hulkenberg. We're going to jump into the pits here. Ollie is ahead of us here, but crucially, he is a pit stop ahead of us. So he's going to go in. You can see him right there. He's going in, but by the time we get to the pits, he's going to be gone. So maybe we slow up a little bit here, but this is what we needed to do if we're going to double stack the first time. But I stretched my stint one time longer. I told the pit crew I was going to do that, and they still called Ollie in on that lap. Regardless, we're on the restart here. We'll have 12 laps of racing to go, and our hopes are refreshed here. We're in P18, but we have rubber. We think we can make to the end. We've recovered some fuel, which was actually kind of scary earlier in the race. We have about half a lap over for 12 laps in the race. I think we should be fine at this point. We're experiencing a little bit of wear on, I think that was the turbocharger, so hopefully that doesn't become a problem later. I don't think that should be the biggest of our issues. We've actually been doing okay with ERS so far. We're going to hold it behind Bortoletto, but that dirty air is a problem. Yep. Thank you, Mark, for telling me there's no issues with the tire wear. Yeah, we shouldn't be. We just drove around behind the safety car for a little bit with fresh tires. Coming up on Bortoletto through turn 7 here. He's going to actually dip a tire into the gravel a little bit, not as much as we did before. He's going to come across, hit the front of our nose actually, so we're going to return the favor and dive up the inside of Aqua Minerale here. And that's job done here, making the move up onto Behrman now. And just barely. I didn't exactly want to go for this move, but he braked a lot earlier than I was expecting him to, and so we kind of went side by side through the chicane over the curb there. Surprisingly, no track limits here, as we'll jump ahead a little bit, and there is a huge gaggle of cars up here, and I think this is going to be a prime spot to make a couple of overtakes, especially into this next turn here. Get it stopped, go around the corner, let them all bunch up here, and we're going to maybe dive at the inside? Nope, not quite. Maybe we'll use the superior traction we have now. Thank God for these new hard tires. Dump the battery a little bit and just hang it around the outside here, doing backing out, knowing that he can't really fight us in that Alpine here. Cut a little bit farther ahead here to Albon. Gonna just outbrake him at the start of the lap here, and we are carving through the field at this point. This new rubber has us feeling alive. I feel like I'm driving a completely different car here. Lawson a little slow through that corner, bumps us in the front of the wing a little bit, but we're gonna dive up the inside here. This is the move I've been talking about. We pulled it off on Stroll earlier in the race, but we haven't really been able to find it for the rest of the time here. We're all over the gearbox of Hadjar here, going into turn 3, and looks like we're gonna get the move done. Mark is talking about pitting, but we are not. We are definitely not pitting anymore. Get that move done on Hadjar, and looks like the tables have turned here. The safety car actually ruined Verstappen's race, and it's going to give Norris the win here. It looks like he is 2.6 seconds clear of Verstappen, who has the Ferrari of Hamilton in his DRS range, or maybe he just about broke it at that point, but regardless, doesn't matter. Norris is gone, and with only 6 laps left, I don't think Verstappen has time to catch him. Here we are now hunting down Lance Stroll with 5 laps left, and I think I'm going to get him with the same move I got him with earlier, diving up the inside here, and that move was crucial because I need to not let these 3 cars ahead of us, Alonso, Antonelli, and I believe that's Gasly. I need to prevent them from getting away from us because those are the point-scoring positions here. I dispatched of Stroll pretty quickly there. That was pretty great. Moving up here, Antonelli and Gasly going alongside. That's going to slow down Alonso. And again, I didn't really plan on going for that move. He just kind of cut in front of me and slammed on the brakes. So I moved to the inside and the move was there. But regardless, that's both Aston Martins in the span of 1 lap here. And we're going to do what we can to get Antonelli. And looks like Sonoda is going to end up retiring here. Some sort of engine failure. Going to pull off to the side of turn 7 here. And that's going to open the door for us to potentially get P7 here instead of the P8 we were going to be capped at earlier. I don't think we had any chance of catching Sonoda there. And we're going to be trying to move up here. It looks like we've dropped Stroll and Alonso. And this is good. This is what I was talking about earlier. We're going to use the DRS of these faster cars. The Mercedes is certainly faster than the Haas at this point. And we're going to let them fight, slow each other down, and we'll just kind of siphon off their speed. And maybe we can pass them later, but I'm happy with P9 given how this race has gone. You look at the bottom right there in the fuel, 0.06 laps of fuel left. I think we should be able to make it to the end here. 2 laps left. Just got to manage it a little bit while also trying to make sure we don't let those Aston Martins behind sneak into our DRS and get a last lap run on us. Taking the helicopter shot of us following Gasly into Aqua Minerale here. This has been a solid race for us, I think. It was getting a little scary there, getting a little dicey, but ultimately I think we're going to escape with some points in this one somehow. As I say that, of course, lock up into the chicane here. I'm actually going to lose DRS because I went into the gravel a little bit, and that's going to invite Lonzo back into the party here, and it's not looking ideal. Losing traction. I'm all over the place now, trying to do whatever I can to keep Alonso behind. And I don't know about the fuel situation, but the light is on, blinking on the bottom there. Dump all the battery, literally down to 0%. Look for it on the inside there. It's not there. Stroll is 0.4 behind. I'm in an Aston Martin sandwich at this point. I'm 0.03 laps under fuel. I don't really exactly know what happened there. It must have been some of the wheel spin on the exit of the chicane, but things were looking up for us, and one mistake could lead to us finishing out of the points of this race after the amazing recovery and godsend we had from Hulkenberg spinning into the gravel. Just trying to hold on if we can here. Coming up to the end of the lap here, I'm going to make sure I don't do the same mistake as I did last time. But dump the battery a little bit. Nice and easy over the curbs. Stay in third gear here. Lose it a little bit, but it's not too bad. We're going to dump the battery. Can't take it with us after this race. And we're 0.06 behind. Huge lift and coast into the first left-hander here. Another one, 0.03. And we're in low fuel mode. We're in low fuel mode. Dumping all the battery. Trying to keep Stroll behind, and it's just not enough. He passes us right before the line, and that's going to be P11 here, just missing out on the points. Oh, that's frustrating. But we did win driver of the day, so that's a nice consolation, I suppose.
Out of the last corner for the last time, Lando Norris is victorious.
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
So even though it was a heartbreaking way to finish the race, I think it was overall pretty inspiring for the future. But it did bring in some questions about our car that we'll have to address. You know, we had the pace on those hard tires at the end there, but we need to do a better job in qualifying and kind of taking care of business earlier in the weekend. Looking at the standings, we're in P13 between both the Williams, and I think that'll give us a good goal for our next time out. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.